Okay, hey everybody, Todd Mitchell here. Welcome back to Game Dev Breakdown, and it is finally time for the game co-design episodes. The first one features boss fight author Sebastian Deken. He's a Final Fantasy expert. He's a very funny guy to follow on social, and he's a friend of the show. So I think you're going to enjoy our check-in with him and the great idea that we eventually got to at the last minute during our co-design session. It was a ton of fun. I think it proved the concept for the show, and I really hope you enjoy it as much as I did. So check out this chat with Sebastian.
Good evening, fans. Tim Kitzrow here, the voice of NBA Jam, and you're listening to the Game Dev Breakdown Podcast, brought to you by CodeWritePlay.com. Boom shakalaka!
I think that's everything. Okay. Thanks for doing this. How's it going?
It's good. It's good. I've been unemployed for the past couple of months, but I'm starting a new gig on Wednesday, so just enjoying my last hours of freedom.
Well, congrats on getting on somewhere. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Seems like everyone's dealing with that right now.
Yeah, for sure. Which is strange. I was in healthcare. So it's strange because that's not like the industry that's experiencing most of these layoffs. So I was just among the unlucky that was working in healthcare tech. So RIP. But it sucked anyway. It was a bad gig anyway. I probably would have left in the next few months if it hadn't been for the layoff. So we
rarely don't end up better off after these things. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I am sick as a dog. I'm sorry. This hit me. I'm good for like one head cold every like 2 years, and this is the week. So.
Oh no. Well, do you want to reschedule? I can do another time.
I can power through if you can stand it in your ears. So sorry.
Yeah. No, it doesn't. You don't sound too bad at all.
It's like, I knew you were starting a new gig, and I thought might be now or never. So wanted to power through.
Sure.
Also wanted to say thanks for being so quick to jump on board for this, because I had several people say yes, but you were the first to book, so I appreciate that.
Yes. I'm nothing if not punctual.
Oh, there you go. We can just kind of roll into it. I wanted to start sort of out of the gate after checking in and seeing how you were and if you're excited about the new gig. How did the rest of the book launch go? That's what we talked about last time.
It went really well. Yeah. It got a pretty positive reception all around. So I'm really grateful for that. It came out at kind of a weird time because we were still undergoing that like paper shortage that was happening during the earlier days of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So there was like a delay launching the hard copy. Like the hard copy paperback book, hard copy paperback.
But yeah.
There was a delay launching the paperback, and I don't think still to this day, I still don't know if you can buy the paperback on Amazon. But but all told, I mean, I think the sales have gone really well. Having no meter stick by which to measure. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good about it. So. And I think Boss Fight is pretty happy too. So
that's good. It feels like Boss Fight is kind of blowing up a little bit.
Yeah. They've been doing they had the GoldenEye book just come out. That's been everyone's been raving about it. And this new Parappa the Rappa book that they're kickstarting.
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, so they're kickstarting their new season now, and the first book that they announced is for Parappa the Rappa. Awesome. Or if you're of high extraction, Parappa the Rappa. They met their goal within 3 hours or something. It was insane. It went so fast. It was like I slept in a little bit, and they were like 90% there.
Yeah.
So yeah, they've been doing really great stuff. I'm really excited to see what else they have in store for this season.
I'm excited as a consumer and a reader. I feel bad as a person, like we both got a lot of writing contacts, like friends around social and stuff who are pitching books all the time. And people are coming to me like, you heard anything about Boss Fight? And I tell them like, yeah, I've heard that they're booking years and years into the future, and it's very hard to get something through. So, because people are like, I guess my pitch wasn't just very good. Like, probably not. They're probably just slammed. Like, it was probably great.
Yeah. I'm sure that they have a very like narrow window during which they accept pitches, and so I know that they get like every season it's just like more and more and more and more of them. So I don't envy Gabe and Mike, the two editors who are reading those through. It feels like it would be so much work. And I hate reading so much.
I'll email with them once in a while they're doing PR stuff, basically. And even just the casual pleasantries, they seem just over fucking whelmed, like super buried in communication and business and like as a small indie publisher of basically just my own stuff. Like I see that and I'm like, oh, it could be worse. I could be successful, you know?
Yeah. it's double-edged sword. It is.
I don't recall if, I thought we talked about if you were thinking about maybe doing another book along those lines, either with or without Boss Fight.
Yeah. You know, I haven't really, I took a break from writing, during or after the book launched. And, I'm just now starting to like warm up to get back into it. So I haven't made any like decisions about whether or not I'm going to pitch more books elsewhere, but I have a completed manuscript that I put together during grad school. It's not video game related. It's just like lyric essays.
Right. That's what you mentioned. Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got that put together, and I have like half started a translation project, but nothing, nothing that I'm really shopping around right now. My husband is writing a book as well, and so now he's going through the process of like pitching and querying literary agents, and it's just I feel like only one of us can be doing it at a time because it's just like such a mind fuck to do that, because it's just like so much work and you just like sit around twiddling your thumbs for so long waiting to hear back, much like the poor folks who are pitching to Boss Fight right now. So
I do hear from couples once in a while who are like, we do such similar work, even if it's anything that you pitch. Two people can't be pitching and receiving and trying to keep up with that at the same time, it seems like. I don't know anybody I could probably think of somebody who's doing it, but most people, it's one or the other has to sort of play support.
Yeah, exactly. Someone has to hold down the fort and do like psychotherapy, once a week to help keep the other person sane. So, but he's got a really cool project. He's writing about Hayden Work, who was on I Dream of Jeannie. He played Dr. Bellows. I think like whoever the villain character was. He's going to murder me for not remembering the guy's name, but like one of the very first out gay actors in the television world. And so he's been writing a biography of this guy, and just led like a tremendously interesting life. And so he's got actually a big chunk of the book written already, which is why I'm surprised he hasn't gotten any bites from agents yet, because it's so much easier to sell something when it's like done in concrete. But he'll find a good home for it. I know he will. It's a really cool project. That
is fascinating. I hope that does land somewhere good. I can't imagine the work that would go into that. Like, does he have access to people or things to do that?
He's been so resourceful. It's like he's put my research for my book to shame. Like it's insane. He's been like contacting like distant relatives of this guy, like found a couple who lives on the Upper East Side here in New York. He's been like sending them pictures, like family photo albums to like scan in. And he's been going through like genealogy websites. He's found people that this guy's just hooked up with, that the guy hooked up with and like slept with one time. There's like interviewing them. And I'm like, how are you doing this? Like, how are you finding these people? And he's gone through like newspaper archives, like just combed through them and found all these reviews of like shows that he's done in community theaters in Tucson or whatever, like just all this crazy stuff. And so he's putting together a really, really detailed, picture of this guy's life, but he has such a breezy, writing style that it's going to be really interesting for folks to read once it gets published. I'm really excited about it. So
wow.
Yeah.
Best of luck to him.
Yeah.
I do love that writing style where it's like, this is incredibly dense, but we're going to try to make it, read casually. And
yeah,
there's nothing better you can pick up and read usually.
Yeah. I think he's going to master that once this whole project is done. So I don't know. We'll see. It's exciting.
How is the New York experience right now? How are things there?
Well, it's for me a little weird because I still am in this mindset of like just rarely leaving the apartment. But I'm this new full-time job I'm starting on Wednesday is a hybrid work thing. So I'm going to be going in twice a week. So I'm going to be getting the full New York experience with that. But people, I think it really is starting to get back to normal. I read the other day that subway ridership is like slowly creeping back up to where it had been pre-pandemic. Finally.
Yeah.
So yeah, but the few times that I've been into Manhattan sort of on foot, it hasn't felt too much different. Like maybe a little bit less crowded than it used to.
Yeah.
But used to be, but I don't know. It was so crowded to begin with that it just maybe feels a little bit more manageable. A little bit more manageable now than it used to.
I can appreciate. I haven't been there since 2003, but I can still appreciate that because even then it was quite. I liked it. Like I liked hanging out there for a week, but I thought like living here. Well, I was a teenager at the time, but I thought living here would be a super like a big adjustment at least.
The good news is no one can afford to live in Manhattan, so everyone's out in the boroughs. So I'm out in Queens, which I really love, but yeah, we've progressively moved further and further from Queens in the 13 years that I've lived here, or further and further from Manhattan in the 13 years I've lived here. So now it's like a 40-minute train ride from here into the first stop in Manhattan. So I live out in Jamaica, so not as tropical as it sounds.
Yeah, I can imagine. We did a small version of that in St. Louis because obviously everything in St. Louis is a small version of what's in New York. But we kind of did do the same thing where we crept, like my wife and I both grew up just across the river in Illinois. And obviously those two places are very, very different if you're not in Chicago. And those are far apart. So we did the same thing. We like left our house in St. Louis County, which all through the pandemic had the worst numbers, the worst vaccination rates. Everything was a disaster. Yeah. And we crept back across to the Illinois side because we thought, we're working remotely too. Everything we do is from here. We're homeschooling. We have an opportunity to get away from what's happening here. And so we thought that was right for us. And during the move, I got COVID for the first time.
Oh, no.
And that's not what I'm dealing with now. But that was within the last 4 months, two or 3 months. She and I both caught it at the same time. We were mostly asymptomatic, but I thought, isn't that perfect? Because this whole time, we were the same way. We locked it down. We stayed in the house. We ordered groceries in. We weren't participating in everything we would like to. And I mean, the moment, like we hired some help moving. And I think that's probably how we got exposed and caught it. So it's like they say, this is life now. And we're very fortunate that it's not a death sentence necessarily. Yeah. And boy, we've come a long way.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It is a lot less terrifying. Long COVID is still a weird kind of unknown quantity for everyone. But, at least you make it past the first worst wave of it nowadays. So
I think everybody who gets it did a tremendous job of being supportive. And I like what I'm seeing with people who are understanding of the other folks who are not ready to come back out, and still want to keep it pretty locked down. Like depending on where you are, I think people are getting it, and that's encouraging.
Yeah. It'll take a while for us to sort of really understand the public health implications of it. The job I'm starting coincidentally is in public health. I'm going to be working for Columbia's School of Public Health. So that's actually what I'm really excited about the job, is to like learn about like all of the things I'm not learning about COVID right now, because it's going to be really interesting. This is my first foray into that space. So
that's going to be a huge space of study and exploration for probably the rest of our lives, I would guess.
Yeah.
You know,
for sure.
We're gonna be finding stuff out about this for 50 years easy. And if I make it a day past the next 50 years, I don't think it's gonna happen, but it'd be great. I'm excited not excited. I'm eager to see what we learn about this time and how we did in terms of like the early assumptions about the disease and the things we tried. Like, I remember when this very first started, we don't have to stay on this topic forever, but
that's fine by me.
I remember when it first started and they thought like, we think people with the A blood type are going to get this the worst. And I'm like, shit. And for a year at least, I was terrified because I was the only person in the house who had that blood type. And I thought like, I'll be the guy, because it was so random. Like the people who really got hit hard and the people who were fine, I thought I'll be the guy who is alone in the ICU. And now they're like, oh no, that didn't turn out to be anything. Like,
yeah, that was like people wiping down like their tongues with Lysol, you know, like,
oh God, yeah.
like doing like just disinfecting everything. And I remember those days too. I still have like a box of like latex gloves to use to touch everything, like when I was taking out my trash. So like, I mean, it's half full. It's like by the time I finally got my hands on some, they were like, oh yeah, no, that's not a thing anymore. Sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. Yeah. I'm hoping one of the upsides of this unemployment stretch for you has been, based on your tweets, it looks like you're getting to keep up with some of the games you want to play. What have you been playing lately?
So the one that I'm really excited about is the new Theatrhythm Final Fantasy, unsurprisingly, the new Final Fantasy music game. I've been playing the demo of that, like up and down, and it's a blast. I'm revisiting, I revisited Dragon Quest III, for the first time in a really, really long time. And that was interesting. What else have I been playing? Oh my gosh.
I've seen a lot of Splatoon tweets.
A lot of Splatoon. Oh my God. A lot of Splatoon. I actually, I convinced, I was trying to get one of my best friends from high school to start playing Splatoon, and I couldn't convince him to do it. So I just bought a copy and mailed it to his house. And I was like, just play it with me. And then if you like it, just pay me back. Yeah. He never paid me back, but we started playing together a lot. And I don't know, that one's a blast. I've never really been one for first person shooters. I panic with all of the, with the third dimension added in. I just freak out. Give me a platformer and I'll mop the floor with folks, but with a first person shooter, but this one, for some reason, I guess because it's so cartoonish, and because it's really like an all ages crowd who's playing it, I feel a little less stupid every time I log in and play with folks online. And plus, there's no expectation for anyone to be good, right? Yeah. Like, there's just like, you don't have to, you know. So yeah, that one has been a blast. That one's been really, really fun. And I was just the other night starting to dive into Disney Dreamlight Valley.
I've played it, if you can believe that.
I've heard really, really good things about it. And I've been sort of putting off playing it because just like something about it just like seems like it wouldn't be for me. But I finally was like, I need something that's not Animal Crossing that's going to like fill that void. And this feels like it might be it. So I'm giving it a shot. I'm not fully sold on it yet, but I'm giving it a shot. I haven't really gone into the any of the big things that have come out recently. I don't think. I have a huge backlog too. I'm just now like finishing up Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. From back in the day. So that's how far behind I am on games. It's a little embarrassing.
No, that's not embarrassing, because I mean, I feel like people barely even talk about backlogs anymore, because now I feel like there's an assumption that if you've played any video game, you have a backlog that will last longer than your natural life. Yeah. So I think that's perfectly reasonable with things like Game Pass and, you know, Humble Bundles and all that. So we've all got, I don't even know what my Steam library looks like. It's probably up 600 games. I've probably played 200 of them,
Yeah. I think I might be in the same boat. I don't play it as much on my PC, but I definitely have a big Steam library that's just been it's been collecting dust. So Pentiment is next on my list, which I think is on Steam.
I downloaded that last night. Haven't played it yet.
I've heard nothing but amazing things, and it seems like it's right up my alley. I mean, give me that medieval bullshit.
Yeah.
Hook it up to my veins. I studied medieval French lit in college, and I'm just I'm so ready to go with it. So
you should have worked on this. Yeah.
I wish they had asked me. Hello. Not that I go around advertising that credential online, but
I'm that same dude. I'm like, oh, I would have been perfect for this. Not that I ever apply to game studios, but I would have been perfect for this. But I downloaded that. Yesterday was my day where it was like, you have 1 or 2 days where the cold is just awful. And for me, that was yesterday evening. So I laid in bed, downloaded that, and I downloaded Octopath Traveler for the first time because I'm super late on that. And that's the one I played. I love that. That was really cool.
It's really, I played about half of that, and I think I was playing it while I was traveling, and then by the time I got back from whatever trip, I was so distracted that I took a break and came back and forgot where I was naturally. So I know the second one's coming out soon, so I want to go back and work my way back through the first one because it was really fun, and the music's great.
Yeah, it's the vibe is cool, the art's really neat, and I was thinking back to when I was first discovering Chrono Trigger or older games like that. I thought man, what if they could have done this back then? I would have never left the screen. Now
it's very much
that's an example of a game that was so beautiful back then. The art was very compelling back then, but the retro stuff, if they could have done this, I'm so glad that my kid is only a little into games because he's about the age I really fell for it. And I thought, I don't know if I would let him do what I'm doing. Or if I would let him do now what I did back then, you know what I mean?
Yeah. God. Yeah, my mom thought that I was possessed. She thought I was obsessed with Nintendo. I mean, I was obsessed with Nintendo, let's be fair. But I think she thought it was reaching sort of unhealthy levels. Maybe it did. I don't know. Got me a book deal. So
I think we talked about that last time. When you were last on the show, we talked about parents not being completely convinced that video games weren't a little bit evil. And I was in that boat where my parents were like, we don't know how kids are going to do mentally with these things. You can't do that. I'm like, okay.
And now we're in another satanic panic, but it's with drag, which is another thing I'm really into. So it just feels like I'm hitting every wave every time they come through.
And I feel why does anyone care? Why does it?
I don't know.
About
I have no idea.
Video games, about Dungeons and Dragons, about drag, about anything you want to do with your friends.
I forgot about Dungeons and Dragons. That was the original.
That was the big one. Yeah.
OG. Yeah.
I knew friends who wanted to play, and their parents were straight up they had watched the Tom Hanks movie, and they're like, "We're not having this. This is not going to take place." I've never watched it, but it must be very compelling. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never gotten into that one too, but never have.
I've played a couple of times, and I like it. I think they should use that storytelling methodology to teach kids. I don't think we've completely nailed that yet.
Oh,
but to sit a kid down and just, it doesn't have to be dwarves and whatever else. But if you tell a kid, imagine you're a kid at the edge of a forest and you can go forward or you can go left, and just come up with the stuff as they make choices and stuff and really get their imagination working. What? Maybe I'm missing, there's been a huge body of work on that. Maybe I just don't know about it. But I think why don't we do a ton of that with kids?
Hey, you're homeschooling. Now's your shot.
Yeah. Math time. Okay, you're at the edge of a clearing.
There are 3 trees.
There's a monster with 45 health points. Yeah. We should jump in and see if we can come up with a good game idea. I've given this some thought, and I'm going to try to share my screen and do the whiteboard feature, and you'll have to tell me if this shows up and looks okay. Should be a white screen.
It's gorgeous. I'm seeing it in living color.
Time to ship it. I think we're done. So, if we were starting a game jam together today, what kinds of games would you have in mind? And, there's no right or wrong answer, and you don't have to have an answer at all. But is there anything that jumps into mind?
I think so. If we were doing one that had a quick turnaround, I think an RPG might, unless it were a very, very tiny, slim one. I think that might be a little too ambitious for a short, just because there's so much storytelling involved.
Sure.
Although you have more experience developing games than I do, so slap me across the face if I say anything wrong.
No, not so far. I mean, it's a good concern. Like I've tried to tackle that kind of thing during a jam, and what I've found is you can sort of get the bones in place.
Mm-hmm.
There probably won't be a ton of content on top of that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. I like games where you collect things or catalog things. I think those are really fun.
Yeah.
Obviously platformers or your Metroidvanias of the world are super fun as well.
For sure.
Love a game about depression. Can I just say I love a game about depression?
Depression subgenre.
The depression subgenre of Animal Crossing. I like games that are funny too. Maybe it's because I'm a depressed person who uses humor as a coping mechanism.
With you.
What else? I think pixel graphics are great.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit easier to work with.
Usually, yeah.
Versus full 3D experience.
I'm really good at very fast, crappy 3D, so that isn't off the table. But
that could be fun too.
And I love that. That's personally something that I'm like, if you think of what's a good example, like the old Driver on the PlayStation 1. Like I liked driving games, and that's kind of really poor 3D that I absolutely love. So.
Yeah, like a driving or flying sim as well would be cool.
Yeah. What are good games?
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, what are good games that use 2 or 3 of these elements we've collected here? I wonder.
I mean, I mentioned Animal Crossing earlier.
Yeah.
Which is I think pretty funny from time to time. I mean, sometimes it's very, very funny, and most of the time it's just like, oh, that was cute. And also has your collecting and cataloging. You play it when you're depressed. Not really depression subgenre though.
We all played it when we were depressed. When the last one came out, we were collectively all depressed.
Earthbound. Although I get that's a JRPG, but I love that. I love that dry sort of meta humor that Earthbound and Mother have.
Yeah, nice. This is good. This is a good start.
What thoughts do you have?
So I like the direction we're going here. I like the idea of maybe like a retro pixel art game that sort of still approaches the Animal Crossing look and feel, like walking around a towns, spaces in between. I think that'd be an easy way to do that kind of thing. Almost, you've almost kind of got Zelda at that point, but Zelda type look and feel, but with, I'd say, deeper mechanics than just combat. Like you've got something to accomplish, and maybe you're some kind of expert out to figure something out. It's all very general.
Yeah. I was reading a tweet thread the other day, and gosh, I wish I could remember who tweeted it, about games that try to avoid combat and why it's so difficult. And it's really just because it's such a familiar mechanic. Like we already understand all of these elements that have to do with combat, like hit points, magic points. But I would love to not avoid or not do combat if we can avoid it.
And we should focus on one type of mechanic anyway. And I'm with you there. I don't think we should have like swords and shit on top of it.
Yeah.
Totally with you.
But yeah, I like a sort of a provincial feeling Zelda idea with the top down.
We're also very close to Pokemon, I realized.
Oh my god, we are.
In episode 1, we accidentally designed Pokemon. So be on the lookout. What would make you happier than, finding little Pokemon. That's true though. That's a good angle they couldn't have taken with Pokemon. Like, you're bummed out, and you should go connect with these little animals.
Yeah. I had an idea ages ago. Now that we're talking about animals and collecting, cataloging things, it reminds me of this idea that I had a while ago for a game. I think it was like a dumb tweet that I tweeted like after I had taken my nighttime medication.
Classic.
But it was for, I decided that I wanted to make a game called Sister Bee, about a bee who was a nun, who her goal was to visit all of the different kinds of flowers and use them to make different kinds of honey.
Holy cow.
And I don't know why she was a nun. That part remains a mystery to me. But I don't know. Maybe she lives in a convent with other bees.
Definitely got to capture that. That's awesome. And yeah, I kind of like when a game abandons the human race entirely.
Yeah.
It's just because it's like, it's not done very often. And I think it's hard to do it well, because once you're dealing with, bees, for example, it's like you run into stuff that doesn't make sense either for the bee or for humans. And it's like, but yeah, I've always been interested in that kind of thing too. Got a bee RPG here.
A bee. Oh boy. I hope we don't get sued by Jerry Seinfeld and his team from a bee movie.
Yeah, that would really put this thing on the map.
Wouldn't it? Oh, let's try to do that.
The old Seinfeld cease and desist. Yeah.
Let's try to get sued. What else? Okay, so are we still thinking of ideas about what the game could be like, or are we now thinking about be like in terms of mechanics, or now are we thinking about like what the skin of it is going to be?
I don't think we have to move too far ahead yet. If you've got something strong, let's look at it. Okay,
I'm just trying to decide where what kinds of spitballs I should throw out.
I also don't want to step on a good idea that you had, so we can do a silly, 1 week thing together, and then you feel like you can't tackle something cool later,
Oh, that's true. Well, I am. Is it ever going to happen? Probably not. Also, I just, put the idea out into the universe again. So the more I say it, the more likely it is that someone else is just going to do it.
That's true. Now the race is on. You're right. We had to cut 20 minutes out of the episode for unknown reasons. Yeah.
Okay. Other ideas. If we're doing non-humans, what are some fun non-human things that we could do? Cats are always a good bet.
Sure. I wish there was a good Red Panda game.
Oh, yes.
Can you imagine?
Love a red panda.
We've got some at our local zoo, and I was fixated on the red panda right away. I was like, look at this guy. Like, we never talk about red pandas.
They're so great. Dinosaurs, always fun to play with dinosaurs. I don't know. What about skeletons?
Good.
It's not technically a human. It's just inside of a human.
Skeletons, that sort of opens up a lot of directions you could go. Like, you got a partial body. You've got a million kinds of bones. There's maybe something there.
Yeah, the bone collector.
You could upgrade yourself.
Yeah, like a $6 million skeleton, man. What else is fun? I mean, we're talking about flowers earlier, but plants might be interesting.
Yeah, I've thought about plant games before.
Stars, like a sort of interstellar star thing.
There was an idea I had about plants when I was reading about how they become strongest during the night. In many cases, because that's when they're like, oh shit, where'd the light go? So like that's when they work on becoming sturdy and strong during that time. And I was thinking, like, what if there was a way to do a game where you try to make plants grow, and it's almost puzzle-like, where you can see, I sort of pictured a big turning wheel of like the sun on top. Let me kind of draw what I'm talking about here.
I think I see where you're going.
Yeah, and that looks like a fried egg, and it's almost like a turning wheel. Moon is down here, and the plants are, just trying to live and survive And I don't know if there'd be a player running around doing stuff during that time, but this wheel of time would always be turning, and you'd have to do certain things at certain times. I think that's about as far as I got with it.
Yeah.
Because I realized that is going to be complicated.
Yeah, it would be, but it could be fun.
There's almost a Stardew Valley direction you can go with that as well, because, I love the idea of like farming stuff or trying to grow different things. So it could be a lot simpler in terms of like almost an Animal Crossing vibe, but much more of a focus on like what you can grow and harvest. And like, maybe there's not a ton of story above that, or maybe there is.
Yeah.
Red pandas growing skeletons. Is that anything?
Dinosaurs versus red pandas. Yeah, growing is an interesting challenge. Would be an interesting challenge to mechanize. I mean growing in terms of not farming, but actually like your character, your aim is to grow.
We're kind of back to like upgradable skeleton, but
upgradable skeletons.
But no, you're totally right. Because there's a lot that an entity needs to grow. So there's room for goals and challenges there.
I'm just sorry. Now that we're talking about like upgradable skeletons, I'm just imagining what that would look like, how you would get like if it's a game where you start out as a bone.
Yeah.
And your goal is to find all of the other bones and make a skeleton. What would that look like? Like, I'm just imagining like a skull on the ground, like chomping around, like looking for, I don't know, vertebrae.
Like how they try to reassemble themselves in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah. Yes.
But like, that would be fun. Like, it
kind of would be fun.
Almost like a Katamari type situation.
Oh yeah.
You could grow into like different stuff. Like they're, based on what you collected, you could be a dinosaur instead. I don't know.
You could grow into a dinosaur.
That almost takes on an unpleasant horror element.
Oh yeah, that might be a little out of.
That's a dinosaur made of man bones. No one likes that. I don't think it would be hard to do like a collecting bones thing. They would have to be, obviously they'd be fairly generic bones, but maybe it's a thing where you're given a kind of skeleton, like this is a little kitty cat, and you need the following bones to do it. You need 2 of this for the leg and tail or whatever. I would have to learn biology, but
maybe that's a barrier, an unnecessary barrier for
my lack of knowledge of bones in the first place. Yeah.
I'm just trying to pick like what are the different bones. Maybe that's gonna make it too complicated.
Archaeology. Is there a good archaeology game?
There must be. Like,
can you do a dig in a game? That feels like that must exist on mobile at least.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's Dig Dug.
Well, that's the original. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I feel like we're close.
Yeah. Archaeology would be fun. Yeah. Like a red panda archaeologist searching for the ruins of a red panda civilization long since gone.
Man, I would play the hell out of that.
I would too, now that I'm saying it out loud.
I would be very excited about that. There could be, okay, so like a top-down Animal Crossing type thing, but you're maybe managing a dig of some kind.
Yes.
And you decide, it almost becomes like a little bit of a management type thing where you decide like where to focus based on some kind of clues. And, maybe you find exactly what you're looking for. Maybe you have to keep working on it. Like, I could see potential there.
I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. Yeah, it's the idea of you're digging up like an Animal Crossing village that someone has left dormant for, 100 months or whatever.
This is going to be the one where on the very first episode where I try this, I fall for an idea and work on it for the next 5 years. No, that's cool though. I like that. So dig and I'm already laughing at my attempt to draw like a suitable.
Okay, wait. Now that I've said that out loud, what if that is the premise of the game? You are a cartoon animal archaeologist digging up the remains of a village that a player who never appears in the game left behind ages ago.
Oh my god, that is so strong. Holy shit. So, man, holy cow. I have chills.
There could be bones. There could also be bones. I don't know. We don't have to put bones in. Bones everywhere. Bones everywhere.
Okay. God, that's awesome.
I really like this idea.
So I do homeschool with my kid, and we just read a book recently about how they, like top to bottom, how they try to investigate what they think was the site of a civilization. And they broke it down in such a way that kids could understand it and that I could understand it, because I wouldn't have either. But they, with very basic clues, they knew that, like, okay, there were tent poles here, and they would find the garbage, which is how they learned the most. And like, this was the burial site. I think if I were to reference that and find very simple stuff we could leave for the player, we could really have something here. I love that idea. Oh my god.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I just looked up a red panda, and I didn't draw the worst red panda here. That was, there he is.
Didn't you?
I promise it'll be better.
Yeah, definitely. Like using that would be a good like using very basic beginner like archaeology principles. Easy thing to look up. Probably an easy thing to implement. The fun part for the player would be putting the clues together. Definitely, there's like a sim aspect, like a sim, almost like, I don't know, a reverse Sim City aspect of it.
That's going on the box.
Reverse Sim City. And maybe, like maybe there's an aspect of it where there's no right or wrong answer, and the player just gets to be creative and make fun, creative decisions. And then at the end, I don't know, maybe they get to see the civilization in action at the end.
Totally.
For a little bit.
Yeah. Like, this is super, super inside baseball here, but I remember the Super Nintendo version of the old Civilization games where it would show you that. It would show you, like, you've reached the whatever age, and here's just a little scrolling picture of the, the people of that time. And I thought, like, God, this is great. My 15-year-old ass, like, this is just swell. This is great. And I could see this being the kind of game that could, like, reset itself and give you something else too. Like, you would just need a wider collection of things to discover. And based on those clues, it can tell you what the thing was like at the end of the play session. Obviously, that's way down the road. But holy shit, I think we really found something here. Yeah.
And it could be set in the present. It could also be like space red pandas of the future.
Sure.
Looking for a civilization that's set in what we would consider present day. So they have like fun high-tech tools, tricorders.
Yeah, futuristic tools.
Just an idea.
That'll solve a ton of problems.
Yeah.
We'll do this. We'll start relatively modern, and every time there's a problem I can't solve, we throw a futuristic tool at it.
Exactly. Yes. That's a principle I learned in one of my TV writing classes in grad school, is when you can't solve a problem, you hang a lantern on it, so that everyone sees that you put some kind of stupid Band-Aid, but it's such a funny, stupid Band-Aid.
Outstanding. Yeah. Just gonna give him a little helmet.
I'm going to be honest, it looks more like a pig than a red panda.
Yeah, it's pig or dog,
or a dog.
Like, yeah, it's
big dog,
three-legged dog. Yeah. I mean, who wouldn't be rooting for him? Like, you can do it, buddy.
Yeah, three-legged dog archaeologist. I don't know.
This is outstanding. I love the discovering something a player left behind, because that's something I think about when if you can submerge yourself in Animal Crossing at all, you do think about that. You think like, I spent all that time on this thing and it's just ruins now. It's
just sitting
anymore.
there. It's a universal experience. There's also something very depressing about it, or touching, because there's an element of pathos. Like, what if these animals like left behind in this village were connected to the player emotionally?
Yeah.
Like, how heartbreaking would that be? Their god abandoned them, or their village mayor or whatever, and their civilization fell to ruins.
And there's room to leave behind clues that like do tell a story about, something like that. Like after, however they refer to the player, after they went away. We did our best to carry on, but our harbor broke down, and our ships never came in anymore, and stuff like that.
Oh God, this is breaking my heart.
I'm going to tone it down a little bit, but
no, I don't think we should. We wanted a game about depression too, right? So
I didn't know we were going to try to make people depressed, but I'm I'm with you. This is cool. There's a lot to work with here. Outstanding. Yeah. Okay. I have a lot to think about. The way I intend to do this is I'm going to be working on this for at least a week. I don't know if I don't get to record with anybody else, I'll just work on this till I get to do the next one. And I'll for sure hit you up. And if you want to add any ideas to this thing, I'll show you what's going on while I do it. And feel free to add or go yes or no. And this will just be our little thing. And
love it.
And what else was I going to say? Toward the end, I'll get you like a playable version of what we sort of came up with, and I'll send you a link. You can maybe just like either through the browser or through the app, you can drop just a voice message, so we don't have to like have a time where we can get on the phone at the same time. And you can just drop a wrap up. Loved this, or this is comically terrible, or whatever, and we'll just kind of close out the episode with it. Like, I'll explain my part of it and my process a little bit, and I'll throw it over to you for your thoughts, and that'll be the episode. Like, that'll be the thing.
Awesome. Cool.
I'm excited. Like, this could have gone with the wrong guest. This could have gone. I could have been very discouraged and thought like, oh my God, I told everyone I was going to do this and it's not going to work. I think this is going to work. So thank you for your ideas, and thank you for
of course.
all that. So I'll let's also do plugs. If anybody's plug the book, plug whatever you're doing online.
So you can find me on Twitter at Sebsational. That's sensational, but with a B. Like my name, and pick up a copy of my book, Final Fantasy VI from Boss Fight Books. It's about the music of the Final Fantasy VI game, and that's all. That's the plugs I got.
Best of luck to it's Brett, right?
Yeah.
I would love to hear good news about that soon. That's a great idea, and he's clearly the right guy to do it. He's working hard apparently. So
he is.
Positive thoughts on that. So cool. I'll get to work on this, and I'll be in touch with you in a while.
Sounds great.
Cool. Okay, big thanks again to Sebastian Deken for coming on, for doing all that, and for being such a good sport. We talked about trying to have the game done, or a prototype or something done for this episode. I don't think that's feasible for several reasons, but I like the idea so much, I want to let the clock run, maybe do a progress episode next week, show off some different mechanics and things, and tell some stories, and, really give this thing a chance. Because, again, what a fun chat, what a fun idea we came up with. So hope you'll be a good sport about that like he was, and I hope you enjoy this new format for the show. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe wherever you're listening. Please follow along at CodeWritePlay.com. We've got show notes, articles, and more. And if you want to follow on social, hit up GameDevPod, CodeWritePlay, or Mechatodzilla with 1D and 2 L's on Twitter. Let me know how you're enjoying this. Throw out ideas for mechanics for the game, opinions on what to do, content ideas, whatever you want. This can be whatever we want it to be. I've been asked last to plug the Discord server. We have a Code Right Play Discord server, which you can find the link at coderightplay.com, or you can probably just search for it. But we do have some people who would love to have more activity on the Discord server, so keep that in mind. Otherwise, we will check in with you again next week. Everybody make me proud out there this week, and we will talk to you later. Thanks.